And for those of you that are on YouTube Live or Google Hangout Live, hello. I am streaming live on GoToWebcast at the same time. So if you want to see my scripts, you can go to chetholmes.com/future-webinars. So we are going live on GoToWebcast as well as YouTube. So this is it's a lot of fun. I've never done this before, but I thought, why not? Why not? All right. Thank you, everybody, for giving me a little bit of information about those surveys. So I'm curious. We have a little group today, so I want to know a little bit more about you and what you're doing in your business. So why don't you tell me first, where are you from? Where are you calling in from? You can just write it in the questions box. I don't think I can do that in Google Live, but in GoToWebcast, where are you calling in from? Let's see. Lawton, Oklahoma. Matt, I'm so glad you got to jump on here. This is fun. So Matt came in because I just did a Facebook Live session to everybody, telling them that they should show up here. I'm just playing around with some organic traffic things online, so more on that later. Elijah, welcome from South Carolina. Wow. Who else do we have? Anybody from East Coast or West Coast? We got Hawaii in the house. Oh, what island? Paul, happy to have you. Mike from Ohio, Cincinnati. Dick from Michigan. Oh, hey, Dick. Happy to have you here. I was just telling somebody about the white paper that you created. Send me the final draft when you have it. Let's see. So we're 2 minutes till we start. I guess another question I would have for everyone would be, what is the biggest thing holding you back from growth right now? Is it more sales? Is it more leads? Is it your team? What is the biggest thing holding you back from growth right now? And you can write it in the chat box. Maui. I used to say Ka'anapali Beach every time I went to Maui. We had a timeshare there. Reliable employees. Yeah, that's a hard one, especially in Maui with island time, huh? What is Garage Works? What do you do, Paul? Matt saying clientele and expanding our customer base. Okay. Matt, are you in charge of sales or closing any business, or? I'm curious. Okay, Mike, you're saying leads. How are you generating your leads right now, Mike? Paul's saying correct. That's where I am, in front of Starbucks. That's where you are, in front of Starbucks. Oh, okay. Oh, you're in Kaanapali. I love it there. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. So who else? I am, like I said, this is going to be super interactive, so you can ask me questions. I want to know who is on this call so I can better facilitate this and make it for you. So Mike, you're saying direct mail. Okay, cool. All right, so today what we're going to cover is the 4 step-by-step strategies to increase sales by 42%. So here is my promise to you. With this webinar, you're going to get 1 full hour of content. You're going to get exact email scripts, sales scripts, templates that you can copy and paste into your business today, learning how our clients have been able to increase their sales using these exact strategies. But this webinar represents only 3 of the 27 different profit drivers that we utilize here at CHI to grow other businesses. So at the end of the webinar, I just want to get your buy-in here that it's okay. At the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to learn how you can get the assistance from CHI to understand what profit drivers in your business are you leaving money on the table. So is it okay that at the end I give you an opportunity to be able to work with CHI in finding those profit drivers in your business? That's okay. Just give me a yes in the questions box. I love to get some permission. I also love to hear from you guys. So as many times as I can get any responses in the chat. That makes me very happy. Okay, we got a yes from Matt. We got a yes from Mike. Who else? Who else is here? There's a lot more people. We got Ben in the house. Welcome. Eric in the house. Fantastic. I'm going to need a lot more engagement from you guys if we're going to have fun here today. All right, so I'm going to move ahead here. So just in case you don't know, let me tell you a little bit about the origin of the Chet Holmes method. So my father, Chet Holmes, was the original founder of Chet Holmes International. We've been in business for 25 years. This year is the anniversary of our 25 years in business. It's amazing. So my father made his big break working for Charlie Munger. Maybe some of you don't know Charlie Munger. He is the business partner of Warren Buffett at Berkshire Hathaway. So what he was able to do for Charlie was he doubled the sales of 9 different divisions. Most divisions doubled within 12 to 15 months, and several divisions doubled multiple years consecutively. How would you like to have that kind of growth in your business, right? That's a dream for us. So he was able to do that because he realized that he created a system, a systematic way to be able to grow sales. And once he realized that he had this gift, he couldn't be able to make the kind of impact that he wanted to make on the world by only working one-on-one with clients. So he created a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine, where it went through his 12 core competencies on how to double sales. So that book, when it was released, it became a New York Times bestseller. And today, 7 years after its release, it's still hitting #1 on Amazon's bestseller list. And that's purely by word of mouth. I really don't do much to promote it. From that book, we've been able to create 78 different training products selling in 100 countries, and we've assisted over 200,000 businesses worldwide. Wow. Thank you, Father. So I'm going to read for you the last line of the book. I'm going to give a little bit of a steal here, but I think it's key to understanding what we do here at CHI. If you want to have the ultimate sales machine, you merely focus consistently on the 12 skill areas. You'll never need to know anything else to rule your market. That and pig-headed determination. So we have a little thing over here called PhD, pig-headed discipline and determination, because I'm going to give you a lot of great ideas today. A full hour of just great scripts, templates, you name it, you've got it. They work, we know. But the key is what you do with them afterwards. And I will tell you right now that 90% of you that are on right now are going to walk away. You're going to agree that the strategies are great. You're going to agree that they would probably increase your sales. You're going to agree that you should definitely do them. And I will tell you 4 days from now, you will completely forget. This is my reverse psychology segment of the webinar, because I'm challenging you right now that when you leave this webinar, you need to implement. You need to find a way to get the results that you are going to say you can get. Okay, and I'll show you a little bit about that in a moment. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is when and how to ask for referrals. A case study about how one of our clients increased their referral sales from 16% to 42%. How a $1.5 billion company won Walmart as a client using these exact cold calling script, or this exact cold calling script. Why 8% of salespeople get 80% of sales. The 3 ways to overcome price. And then lastly, the Curious Kitten approach, an email template that converts. So for those of you that are on this call and are excited and want to learn and are ready to learn, just give me a yes in the questions box that you're ready for this webinar. I want to make sure you're not sleeping, you're not checking your email, you're not doing 50 things. What you give is what you get. So if you give your all here, if you sit down and you're taking notes, you're 7 to 8 times more likely to implement if you write something down. So I want to see that you're paying attention and you're writing it down, because that is what's going to get you results. And I'm not here to waste my time or yours giving you a bunch of results, things that you're not going to put in. Okay, we got some women on the call. I love to see that too. Okay, Karen's here, Jonathan's here, Carol's here, Todd's here, Bob's here, Victoria, Jennifer. Welcome. Okay, great. So here we go. Let me pull up this survey question. Oh, it's not in the surveys. Okay, just kidding. So you're going to have to answer the question in the chat box. So my question to you is, do you have an active referral system where you can guarantee that you are asking for a referral with every single client? It's a yes or no question. Do you have an active referral system where you can guarantee that you're asking for a referral with every single client? Just give me a yes or a no in the questions box. Okay, we got a whole lot of no's so far. Matt saying no, Carol saying no, Paul saying no, Eric saying no, Victoria saying no. Anybody have a yes? Jonathan saying yes, okay. Bob saying no, Mike saying no, Ben saying kind of. It's not an option, it's a yes or no question. Karen saying no. All right, Seymour saying no. I will tell you right now that when I do these on the call and I ask this question, roughly about 90% of these of the people on the call will say no. It's very typical, 90%. So, do you ask? Do you know how to ask without sounding ridiculous? And I'll tell you right now, this blew my mind when I saw this study by the Carnegie Institute. 91% of customers say that they would give you a referral, and yet only 11% of salespeople ever ask. That means that you are leaving a pile of opportunity on the table. You could be getting 8 times more referrals today. That's an 800% growth rate in one area of your business. So let me show you an example of one of our clients. They came into our world and they actually thought that they did have a process. We asked them, do you have a referral program? Oh, yeah, we do. But after they met with one of our CHI growth strategists, which was Gene McNaughton, the infamous Gene McNaughton, he showed them that they really didn't have a strong question to ask every single client. They were getting only reactive clients, reactive referrals. Is that the same for you? Because a lot of you said no. So this is the Keeley referral strategy. Okay, do this right and your referrals will climb higher than 91% of your competition. In this picture, actually, I climbed Kilimanjaro. This isn't a picture of Kilimanjaro. It's from Kilimanjaro looking out on the other peak that's across the way. I was half dead during when I climbed Kilimanjaro, but that's another story for another time. So part 1 of the Keeley referral strategy is the base camp. If you don't make your clients happy, we can't go any further, okay? So step number 1 is something that you have to do. I'm not gonna teach you how to make your clients happy. So once you get that first step down, now I'm gonna cover steps 2 and 3, okay? So part 1, make your clients happy. What do you gotta do to make them happy? Part number 2, the peak referral state. Okay, so this is my question to you. When is that peak moment when your client is the most happy? And I'm curious, you can write it in the questions box if you want. When is that time when they are the most happy? So I'll give you an example. I was doing a presentation for a law firm, and I asked them, when is the peak moment when their clients are the most happy? And they said, oh, you know, right after we've won a case in court. And they're just thrilled. They're beyond thrilled. Okay, that is the peak moment when they're the most happy. Could it be if you provide a product and as soon as they get it in the mail and they're excited about that product, that's the peak moment? Or maybe if you're service oriented, it's right after you've performed your service. So when is that moment when they're the most happy, okay? That peak referral state. And that's coined by Scott Hallman, if you haven't heard. So the third part of the Keeley referral strategy is the pinnacle point. If you do not ask, you will not get the referral. No ask, no referral. So let's go through a script from one of our clients, what they did to incorporate their Keeley referral strategy. So at the peak moment when the client received a benefit, the company would call the client. And they'd say, hello, Al, we're just calling as a professional courtesy to make sure you've been serviced correctly. We have 4 simple questions to ask. Do you have 4 minutes? Notice how specific we are, 4 minutes. Yes. Okay, were we on time? Yes. Were they professional? Yes. Did they teach you how to use your new unit? Yes, they did. Did they professionally clean up before leaving? Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with AirPro? I would say a 9. And I'll tell you right now that AirPro would get 99% of the time, they'd either get a 9 or a 10. And if they got anything below it, they'd handle the problem and instantaneously they'd be happy. That is what it takes today to make sure that you are a killer company, okay? So just calling and asking at that peak moment. So now they're at this state of remembering, oh yeah, you know, I didn't even think about it, but you were on time. You did do great service. You did give me instructions. So now they've realized, oh, you did do a great job. Okay, so that's a key part of the referral strategy. So ask them questions that is going to remind them of what a great experience they've had with you. Then we go into the ask, okay? In the meantime, please call us for anything. We want to make your experience perfect, okay? Great, thank you. And then this is the part you write down. Everybody, pen and paper, you're writing this down, okay? Also, if you know of anyone who has any questions or issues with their system, feel free to give them this private number. I will personally make sure they are taken care of for you. I will personally make sure that they are taken care of for you, okay? Notice how this phrase is not, hey, you know, I'd really like some new clients. Do you have any friends or family that I could harass? No, it's phrased as a benefit to them. Now they feel, oh, well, I have this guy over here, this Matt guy, he's going to take care of everybody that I refer to him. So now he feels significant that he wants to go to all his friends and family, and he wants to refer. Anytime anybody ever asks, oh, do you know a lawyer? Oh, do you know a doctor? Oh, do you know anybody that does air conditioning units? You know, I do. I have this guy. He'll take care of you for it. Just tell him that I call, or that you're coming from me. Okay, so see how different that is, and you say it with every client. Could you see yourself asking every single client this question? It's not that difficult, right? It must be phrased as a benefit to them, okay? So, you know, it's funny you should say that. I do have a friend that could really use your help. So let me ring this true, and before I do, I want to just make a note here that notice how the client, our client, didn't even realize that they had a problem with referrals. That is a serious benefit to being able to work with somebody like one of our CHI growth specialists that can look from outside in on what you're doing in your business and find those blind spots that you didn't even know you had. He came to us because he said, hey, I want to grow my sales. Little did he know that he was going to walk away with a great referral strategy that increased his sales. So it's really about being able to have that outsider's view, look at what you're doing, and figure it out. Where are you leaving money on the table? That's a key. Okay, let's go to another, I'm going to really ring this true with this referral script. So to make sure you're taking action. So this is the tale of two doctors' offices. This is one of our clients. And if anybody has any questions, you can always write them in the questions box. I'm happy to answer them. Someone's saying that they lost audio. Oh, I hope that they get it back. Okay. So this is the tale of two doctors' offices. So it was the same owner with the same referral script, but they were from two different offices, okay? This owner had two different offices. So Office A increased their sales 16%, while Office B increased their sales 42% with the same script, the same owner. So my question to you is, how could Office A and Office B get different results from the same referral script? Go ahead and answer in the questions box. How do you think that Office A and Office B got different results from the same referral script? Okay. Paul's saying, how do you build the referral in at the end of the sales call when the customer wrote their first order? So Paul, my question to you would be, when is that peak moment when they're the most happy? Is it as soon as they bought, or is it maybe a little time after that they've experienced? You know, you don't want to overwhelm them immediately. So it might be that after they've experienced your product or service, that's when you call and ask them for a referral. But you can test different avenues, right? You can test as soon as you've sold. You can test a week after. You can test 2 months afterwards. There will not be a transcript, Matt, after this. No. Okay. So Matt's saying implementation and execution. Laura, can you help Jennifer? She's still not hearing anything. Eric's saying person delivering the message, okay? So who else? Who else is saying, okay, execution in office B by more employees? Okay. Is it okay to ask the same client multiple times for a referral? Of course. Why not? And Matthew's saying, hi, I'm Matthew from India. The referral strategy we use is by giving them a 10% discount on their ongoing project if they refer us to someone and we end up closing them. Do you think it's a good strategy? Do you think we would sound too desperate? Well, are you implementing it right now, Matthew? Are you getting the results? Are you tracking the metrics? So how many of the people that you're asking do they actually turn into a referral? Are they annoyed by the way that you're using it? Because that strategy is a great strategy, but you need to know the results. You need to be tracking those results. So if people are upset, you need to change your script. I think that that's a great strategy, but I would have to ask a couple more questions to make sure that it's actually implementing correctly and getting you the right results, okay? So the answer to this quest of the 61% increase between Office A and Office B, everyone's on the right track, but the true key here is Office A trained on that script once, Office B trained on that script 4 times. Okay? So in the 4 times that they continually worked on it, they realized, oh, Sally's asking for the referral in a different way than Susie is, and Susie's actually getting better results because she did this. And hey, the peak moment we thought was at this time, but it's actually at that time. So it was that continuous repetition. Repetition is the mother of all skill. This is what we teach to all of our clients. It's not about doing 4,000 things, ladies and gentlemen. That's the good news. It's about doing 12 things 4,000 times. Okay? And if you're going to write down anything, that might be a great one. It's not about doing 4,000 things. It's about doing 12 things 4,000 times. So take this referral script and how many times are you going to train on it, right? 4 times is minimal because you track. So you see, okay, what results am I getting? Why am I getting those results? Okay, how can we improve those results? What are the objections? What's not working? Let's workshop it. And it becomes this consistent process of training, okay? Oh, Matthew, you're saying this is something that you haven't implemented yet. Well, then I would definitely start implementing it and see how it works. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, so people are still giving me time of delivery. Yep. Okay. So just to show this works, this was a testimonial from our client, the 2 doctors' offices. My CHI coach, Dr. Todd Eller, has helped me increase my business over 100%. I wanted to give the website here, but he actually sold his business. After working with us, he got so many systems in place that he could sell his business. So I can't actually give you the URL, but pretty great success story. So is everybody getting what I'm saying here about the referrals? Here is a key moment, okay? I want everyone to write this down. Okay? How much would your sales increase if you mastered your active referral system? Would you increase it 15%, 5%, 500%? Write down that number right now. And give it to me in the questions box. I would love to read them out. Okay? So how much would your sales increase if you mastered your active referral system? How do referral strategies differ between different industries? Well, it depends. It differs between different sales processes as well, right? So like I said, the peak moment when your client is the most happy, that's going to change between whether you're in B2B or B2C, or you're selling a product or you're selling a service. So there's a lot of permutations. But the key that I'm trying to show you here is that majority of companies don't know that they don't have that they don't have a referral strategy. B, make sure you do have a referral strategy. Follow the Keeley referral strategy 3 steps, right? And then lastly, continually work on improving that strategy. All right, I'm curious, what percentages do we have here? I haven't seen any percentages yet. Oh, okay, here we go. So Paul's saying 50 to 100% increase in sales if you mastered your active referral system. I love that. Larry is saying 15%. Wonderful. Matthew's saying 42%, right? Just like the client. That's great. Okay. Matthew's saying 20%. Awesome. Eric, how would you go about identifying that number? Tough to say if you've never fully implemented a strategy in the future. So, you know, so you already know that 91% of your clients would say yes if you ask them, and yet only 11% ever ask. So if you had the next 10 clients come in and you ask them for a referral, let's think about this. So of the 10 last clients that you just had, if you ask them for a referral, how many of them do you think would give you a referral? So let's say maybe 4 out of 10. So that would be, and then if they gave you clients, maybe that's a 40% increase in your sales. I mean, you'd obviously have to do the numbers a little bit more clearly, but making that estimation and putting a number down on paper, that makes such a huge difference. Like I said in the beginning of this, okay? You're 7 to 8 times more likely to implement if you write it down. So just put an estimation, because if you walk away from this webinar saying, hey, I got an idea that's going to generate me $100,000 in my business, or $500,000 in my business, or even $10,000 in my business, you're much more likely to stick it out rather than just leaving it on the table and saying, oh yeah, that was a great strategy, I should implement that someday. That's what I'm trying to do here, is make sure that you take action so you get those results that you want. All right? And Todd's saying 30 to 50% increase in referrals if we train each employee over and over again. Great. I love that. So what is that number to you as well? So you gave me the percentages. You can write down, you don't have to give it to me in the questions box if you don't want to, but make sure you write down, if that's a 50% and you're $1 million company, that's $500,000, okay? Write that down too. What's the numerical value? Victoria is saying 50 to 100% as long as prioritize on consistency and addressing the complaints. Great. We call it PhD, right? Pig-headed discipline and determination. All right, so now that you have your customers selling for you, let's talk about actually getting new customers, all right? And here is that quote again: mastery isn't about doing 4,000 things, it's about doing 12 things 4,000 times. And that really came from my father, who was a 4th degree black belt. And he realized it's not about doing a bunch of different punches and there's a lot of different kicks. There's only a couple ways that you know how to punch and block and kick. It's about doing them repetitively. How many times do you punch in rounds of 2? For those of you that have gone to a dojo and studied karate or mastered anything in your life, if you're a musician, how many times do you do scales back and forth, right? So mastery is the key. So here is the best buyer strategy. The best buyer strategy is the fastest, least expensive way to double sales. So this was a strategy that my father used with Charlie Munger to be able to double the sales of 9 different divisions, okay? And what a best buyer is, this is a good thing to write down. A best buyer is someone that buys the most from you the most often. And typically, the people that buy the most from you the most often are the 20% of your clients that produce 80% of the revenue, okay? So maybe your average client spends $4,000 with you. Your best buyer will spend $1 million with you, okay? That is a best buyer. And if you spend your time, money, and efforts focusing on that 20% or on that smaller percentage of your best buyers that are going to get you more results, it actually costs you less. Can you imagine? So you only focus on those bigger clients as opposed to marketing to 2,000 people, to cold calling 2,000 people. You only focus on the 167 that get those bigger results. What can that do for your business? All right, it doubles our clients' sales all day in, day out. So here we go. Here is how one of our clients, after they finished working with us, they were a $1.5 billion company. They started off as a $900 million company. I'm going to show you how they got Walmart as a client. Even if you are a solo entrepreneur, if you are a one-man army, this is a concept that anybody can implement. So make sure you pay attention, because you don't have to be a big company to act like a big company, okay? So this is a typical cold calling script. Hi, this is Pedro Gomez from Z Company. I would love to come and talk to your employees about buying a home. Prospect would say, Holmes? I'm not interested. Click. Okay, how fast would that go? it really only gets the attention of the 3% of your prospects that are interested in buying now. Okay, we have a little thing here called the stadium pitch, right? And the buyer's pyramid. So that top 3% are interested in buying now. The 90% that are left over, well, you got 7% that are open to buying, but maybe just not right now, and maybe in the next couple weeks or months. Then you have 30% that aren't thinking about it, that think they're not interested, and are definitely not interested. So how do you get the attention of that 90% that aren't interested in your product or service right now? Are you following me? Just give me a yes in the questions box. I want to make sure that this is drilling home for everybody and you are getting what I am saying. Okay? I know there's a little bit of a delay in the questions box. So here are the 3 steps for a cold calling process that we use to gain Walmart as a client. I got 2 yeses, okay? Ben and Matt are on it. For the rest of you that didn't answer quick enough, I want to see you get involved. Great on. Oh, I'm happy that you made it on. So glad. I know we were touching base on LinkedIn. And Carol, great. Okay, so step number 1, stop selling, start educating. If you can implement the strategy that I'm about to show you, you will be number 1 in your market. Nobody will be able to compete with you if you can master this educational approach, okay? And you're going to see how. Number 2, don't give them a chance to say no, okay? And then number 3, make the appointment as easy to book as possible. I'm curious, how many of you still are doing some kind of cold calling process with your clients right now, or have a sales team that's running cold calling in your business on the day-to-day? Matt saying, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I love that. Okay. Karen saying audio is very choppy. Is it just me? I'm not quite sure. Seymour is saying yes. Bill's saying yes. Okay. So I'm going to keep going here. So in the first 60 seconds, this is how their script went. So instead of saying, hi, are you interested in buying a home? No, click. It turned into this. Hi, this is Pedro Gomez from Z Company. Are you familiar with us? Prospect would say yes or no. Well, we're the largest home contractor in Mexico. The reason I'm calling you is because we recently commissioned a study of issues facing Mexico and how they're going to impact you and your employees. Are you interested in making your employees more secure, less stressed, and more effective on their job? Okay, so you notice how this didn't give a chance to even hang up. Okay, there was no question of, hey, you have a moment, or how are you doing today, or how I'd like to talk to you about homes. Okay, so there's a huge difference.